Do you like armor mods? Well, hopefully you do like armor mods because it was a massive week for armor mods in Fallout 4. What's up everybody and welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. This is a series where I show you some of the best or the premier mods to come out for Fallout 4 each and every week. We have a really good lineup of mods this time around, and one thing that's actually really notable about these mods is many of them were released on Xbox One subsequently with their PC releases. A lot of times as of late things weren't being released on Xbox One or they come out a week or two after their PC release, but this week that was not the case. If you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff, I would definitely praise these mod authors, send them a message thanking them for this. With all that being said, we have one of the most anticipated releases over the past few months, that with the classic combat armor. Yes, it is finally here. So what this mod's going to do is add in the battle armor that did appear in Fallout 3. This is a pretty massive armor in that game, just like the combat armor is in Fallout 4. It's very prevalent, appears on a lot of the middle to higher range enemies, and you probably even used it on your own character because it was quite powerful. In Fallout 4, this does come with a ton of customization options. You can make it into a light, heavy, or medium variant, as well as there's a ton of different textures that you can apply to each of these individual armor pieces. And if all that wasn't enough, it's also integrated into the level list, so you'll see this appearing on any of the enemies that would by default use the Fallout 4 combat armor. So that's things like some of the different raiders, the Brotherhood of Steel use this, even some of the higher level Minutemen actually appear with combat armor. And of course you will find it at all the different vendors and shops. Again, I just know this was a hugely anticipated mod and it definitely is delivering. There's no crashes or bugs like it did have on its initial release, and of course this is by the Fallout 4 New Vegas project. It's really awesome to see this getting released after we just had a massive week of updates from them. Now actually getting some content that we can experience on our own is really reassuring that that is going to be an awesome mod, as well as I really like how we're getting little trickles or tidbits of stuff as I do work on it. So this mod actually caught me by surprise as to how cool it is. Flora FX Overhaul is basically going to change how some of the foliage in Fallout 4 is modified by different weather types. What it's going to actually do is change some of the branches of the trees to make them look a little bit more dead. It's actually going to add in these little leaf falling effects and overall just make it so trees move a lot more in the wind. This works with vanilla Fallout 4, so it'll be compatible with all those weathers, and overall it's just going to have a bit more windy and rainy weathers. But even beyond that, it actually works with true storms, vivid weathers, or natural and atmospheric commonwealth. There's patches for all of those, so it'll make it that basically in true storms, let's say, the rain will have a bit more wind in it, so you can actually see the effects of this mod. It really makes a big difference. Maybe the video isn't doing it justice, but as you're playing through the game with your different sound effect mods and weather mods, seeing this extra bit going on with the foliage really immersed me in the game a lot more, and I was quite surprised as to how big of a difference this did make visually. If you guys are on the fence about trying this one out, I would highly recommend it, and also check out the really high quality video they made of this. It actually really gives a great showcasing of this mod, much better than I'm doing. I will have that link down below, but also here's like a short clip from it. So we do have the Dread HeadGear pack. Basically, it's going to be adding in a few different helmets. Kind of an odd selection. None of them are super interrelated, but all of them will have a few different color options and things like that. Regardless, you have a few steampunk themed helmets that can have an open or closed mask, as well as some just more standard helmets that go along with the overall aesthetic that you probably have with a lot of other armor mods. Really talking more broadly, this is just a pretty cool mod because, again, a lot of these are applicable to other armor mods. I really like these kind of full enclosure helmets, as well as just the ones that do include the goggles. I think, again, that really meshes well with the theme of Fallout 4 and just the post-apocalyptic nature. It makes a lot of sense for you to be wearing a mask or gas mask with the rest of your armor. It just makes me feel a little bit safer. Maybe that's totally offbeat, maybe you guys don't like this at all, but I just really think this is a cool little headgear pack. It was ported over to Xbox One, but it actually seems like it was taken down, so maybe it'll be up. I'll leave a link to it down below. I imagine this was false flagged because it is up on Nexus and it doesn't seem like many of this is ripped or illegally ported. So we do have the Cross Brotherhood Recon. This was another very anticipated mod. More or less what this is going to add in is a new outfit for the Brotherhood, and of course for you and your companions and settlers and whoever else you want to apply this to. This is going to have a ton of customization. Of course has its standard kind of goggles, gas mask, outer coat, gloves, things like that that you can attach and detach, but even further there are a bunch of different colors you can download. There's actually a bunch of additional texture packs that you can download on a Gumdrop website that this mod author has set up, as well as it does have a male and female variant, although both of them are pretty pretty similar, so I'm really only going to show you the male variant, and I think you'll get the idea. All around, it's a really cool mod. This is another one that's going to be integrated into the level list, so you'll see different parts of this armor on some of the different Brotherhood foot soldiers that you may encounter along your journey, and it really is a cool mod. I really love the look of the helmet and gas mask especially. I just think it has a really nice vibe to it, and that's another one that can mesh with a lot of other armor types, especially when you start to apply some of those different color options. So we do have the McMillan CS5. I honestly didn't expect this to be as cool of a gun as it is. Basically, it's going to be a sniper rifle of sorts. It's going to be a bolt action weapon that does have a ton of different color, scope options, things like that. The things that we've come to expect from weapon mods like this. This is definitely meant to be a more modern weapon. It has a much more futuristic or sci-fi feel while still being based in reality when compared to a lot of the other weapons in Fallout 4. It's like the super modern weapons that you do see in certain video games and of course in the real world that don't really conform to the same standards that the M4s and M16s do. Hopefully that made sense. I don't actually know if I conveyed that well. Regardless, in Fallout 4, it looks really good. Again, there's a ton of different texture options. I'm only showing you 2 of them, but just has a kind of compact nature as well as it's kind of fun to use either as a DMR or as a proper sniper rifle. The sound effects and animations are top notch as we've come to expect from this mod author, and honestly, it is a ton of fun to use. Again, I just found it very satisfying to take down enemies and then pull the bolt back. These sounds also are very sharp and clear and crisp. All around, again, it's a really high quality one. If I haven't conveyed that enough by the other words I did say. It's not out on Xbox One just yet, but I imagine it'll be coming over the next couple weeks. So we have the Wasteland Codex. This is a pretty interesting mod. Put simply, what this is going to do is add in a lore entry into the game for some different things you can encounter. The current implementation of this mod doesn't cover everything. I imagine it'll be fleshed out through future updates, but things like Brahmin or locations or mainly different enemies you can encounter will have a kind of backstory and lore behind them that you can find by going on the Fallout 4 wiki or downloading this mod. There's an option for it to autoplay, so when you enter a location, it'll tell you a bit about the faction that does control that.
The history of the children of Adam is tied closely to the history of Megaton, a town located by the ruins of old Washington, D.C.
Or maybe the animal you just encountered. This is a really nice feature, so you can naturally progress through the game, maybe take down the enemies at that location, but at the same time find out a bit about the backstory and lore and feel just a bit more immersed in the game. This is a really cool mod. I'm excited to see the future updates. I feel like right now it has a good selection, but the selection being much wider would definitely make this higher quality and more desirable. So to end things off, we have a fairly simple one. That's going to be NMC's roads for Fallout 4. Basically, it's going to be an overhaul of some of the roads and potholes you do find in vanilla Fallout 4. The real reason this is exciting is this is one of NMC's first mods for Fallout 4, while he did have some major mods for Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. If you guys have played Fallout New Vegas anytime in the past year, you probably downloaded one of these guys' texture packs. Here are these texture packs covering almost all of the game, and they're kind of the go-to option if you do want to play a more modern experience on Fallout 3 or New Vegas. They're the ones I personally use, and honestly, they're extremely high quality. So maybe he's just starting small with roads. This mod on its own, it definitely is high quality, but I'm really excited for the implementations of him getting into Fallout 4 and to see what he releases in the future. Mods like his are the ones you use even years from now as you go back and play this game. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below, what of these mods were your favorite? There's a lot of great options this time, and I feel like covering a pretty wide range. As always, again, and thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.